Well, welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this evening, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm just a question asker. I'm throw my name out there, man. I'm just Raheem, the question asker. I'm not important, but the fellows that are important are right here, and we got a few more that's coming as well. We're gonna go around and give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves and say where they're hailing from. I'm gonna go to my right, maybe your left, depending on how you lean your head on the screen. But Rodney, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
Rodney Smith, Tequila, Georgia, hailing from Stamford, Connecticut.
Stanford, Connecticut, and right below you, we have Rico. Rico, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
My name is Rico Jackson, and I am from Anniston, Alabama.
And to his left, your right, again, depending on how you're holding your head, we got Leonard. Leonard, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
This is Leonard Jones, Vice President, New Order National Human Rights Organization. I hail from Saginaw, Michigan.
Saginaw, Michigan. The SAG. He from the SAG, y'all. Y'all don't know nothing about this SAG. I heard somebody trying to come in. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, man. He hate when I call it the SAG. He do, but I do it anyway. I'm just hard headed like that. The SAG. He said, if I go up there, man, they'll run me out. They'll run me out of town if I see something like that. But listen, we're gonna kick this first thing out, and I'm gonna ask y'all this question, man. And Rico, I'm gonna start off with you, brother. Rico, we say it all the time. We talk about it all the time. But what is man code?
The man code, man. That's keeping it. I'm gonna say keeping it solid, man. You know what I'm saying? We try to make sure that we stand on some integrity. Carry ourselves in a respectful or honorable way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call it alpha because it could be, you know what I'm saying, it could be taken in a toxic way if you overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
But I say the man code is I guess it depends on what scenario you're speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the man code is some things that the fellas keep to themselves. You know, they make sure they don't reveal to women the way we think about certain things, some of the things we do or we believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll say, like, say for instance, the way little tricks. I don't want to call them tricks, but little things that we do to attract women. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes men share little secrets or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Man, they like this kind of cologne, or, you know what I'm saying? You need to get this and that, especially when you're teaching younger fellows what they need to do to get the women. So that's some of the stuff that's like pretty much in the man code. You don't go and reveal different things to the other sex about how we feel or how we think about certain things.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna establish what it is, and then I want to talk about how it is and how can one break the man code if that's any such thing. Rodney, what do you say to that, brother? What is a man code?
Rico hit it pretty much on the head, but it's basically a code of conduct that most men adhere to, which is the norms, as he said. It's almost like a fraternity or a group of standards that men have. And typically, if you don't adhere to that code of conduct or man code, you're acting out of context of what a man should be or what it envisioned to be.
Wow. Now, see, you said something, and I'm gonna take what you just said to Leonard. Leonard, he said, if we don't stand up to it, that man code, then I don't think he said that we're not being men, but are we breaking certain honors among men if we don't hold up to that man code? What do you say to that, Leonard?
I think it has a lot to do with instinctive male behavior. To me, is anything outside of instinctive male behavior. Gossip is for women.
Hold on now. This real man being men. Let's talk. So basically, what I'm hearing you say, Leonard, is men don't gossip. Am I hearing you say that?
Not.
Or is it if a different word that we use for it when we, because men sit around and talk about stuff too now.
But men don't really sit around and talk about other men.
Okay.
I'm not going, or creating mess. Anything outside of instinctive male behavior. I'm gonna try not to say the word, but it begins with a B.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it because
Yeah.
don't no
Don't.
cussing on your show.
There you go. Don't
But
say it.
to me, is
Mm-hmm.
anything that a typical female would do.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
A man shouldn't do those things. Like one, I'm so crazy about it. I don't even believe that men should really go back and forth with women.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
very feminine like to me.
Wow. Wow.
Or one, it's not my job to go tell Rico wife what Rico do when he ain't around.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's none of my business.
Is that breaking a man code?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
because men shouldn't go about behaving like women.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anything outside of instinctive male behavior to me is suspect.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Rico, what do you say to that? Me and you boys, we boys, and your wife come to me and say, and you say, I know you didn't tell me that you was going taking care of some business, some side business. You didn't tell me, but I should know because we boys, right? And she come to me and she say, where's Rico? And I go making up stuff. I try to make up stuff, trying to cover up for you. But you come back and I don't talk to you, and you say something different, and now she's looking crooked eyed. Did I break a man code, or should I just say I don't know?
No, man. See, now you ain't break no man code then. You know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
mean, that's a totally different story. I mean, if it's ever a situation like that, the man should have to give you a heads up
Yeah. Yeah.
on what to say or what to expect. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Hopefully, he don't put you in a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I tell my friends in a heartbeat, man, look, I don't want to be aware of what you're doing.
Yep. Yep.
I want to
Don't
be
tell
just
me.
as blind to what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing as she is. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
know nothing about that because I don't want her asking me no questions and I say the wrong thing.
Yep.
There you go. There you
You
go.
know,
Mm-hmm.
so matter of fact, man, I had a situation one time where this woman came and asked me about a job I worked at. She said, "Do they hire women?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, how much they pay?" I told her about how much they pay. I said, "Well, I seen one or two women out there." I said, "But yeah, I seen those two women doing what we do." She's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I thought about coming out there." Then she was like, "Well, how they do about paying y'all? Y'all have to put a week in the hole?" I was like, "Yeah." So she asked me about child support. I said, "Yeah." And then when I told her about how the child support worked, she said, "That BASTARD." I was like, "What you talking about?" She said, "My baby daddy said they ain't paid him in 6 months."
Oh, you're a good friend, Rico.
I said, "Man, you conned me." I was so hot, man. I really thought she wanted a job out there. And she was trying to find out how he was manipulating her out of paying her child support, man. And then he went back and told his brother, which was my god brother. So my god brother was like, "Rico, I heard you was a hater." I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy." Man, you gotta be on your toes with these women, man. Cause
Yes,
Right.
sir. Yeah.
that
Rico,
was
you
a
spilled.
terrible situation, man.
Rico said, "You con me."
Whole
Run
bunch
it
of
back.
questions.
Exactly. Exactly. I was like, man, look at when a whole lot of questions get coming like that. I back.
Yeah.
No. I back up there. No, that's too. You trying to get somewhere. All right. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I think the man code basically for most men is that not to engage in anything that's messy
Mm-hmm.
because in most cases we've got a lot of personal stuff going on our own. We don't want to get in our mind a bunch of baggage we don't need. I'm the kind of person, like I said, if it's unnecessary information, I really don't want to get involved. I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as Brother Leonard alluded to, any male that has time to engage in nonsense, he's being, he's not being a true man. And in terms of holding secrets of other gentlemen, basically, it's not my business because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I'm probably just as dirty in some areas as he is. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get involved in that kind of back and forth. So the best thing is, like the brother said, is just don't involve me. That way I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to get in it. So
Yeah.
I think the man code pretty much is self survival and do things that are hang around people are going to edify you because. I mean, I'll tell. Since he likes sharing stories, I did the same thing. When I first moved to Georgia, I had this buddy I used to hang out with, ex-military dude, a sheriff. I mean, he was a man's man, And he said, "Let's go hang out." I don't have any money. Oh man, let's go hang out. I get there and I'm at the bar and I'm talking to this good-looking young lady, right? The first thing
Mm-hmm.
he yelled across the bar, He with me, he ain't got no money.
Wow.
And I'm thinking that he definitely broke the man code right there.
Man.
Look, on top of it, he said he ain't got no money and he married.
Wow.
Wow.
And that was my last time hanging out with him.
No. Exactly. Now, Leonard, that's dirty, Leonard. That's dirty.
Hey, but that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are just some people out here they keep up a lot of mess. And, once you learn that code, I'm not even gonna take nobody with me to do no wrong, tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need no witnesses or anything like that, especially nothing. You can't say nothing. And even me and my wife were discussing that with the different ways people communicate. And I could say something in the sense where, my brother, he's going on a trip up north.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody going with him? When he coming back? That's you know what? I told you he was going anywhere because I didn't ask him all them questions because they wasn't important. He let me know he had to go take care of some business. That's enough for a man. I don't need to know every detail of what's going on and because, like, say for instance, with that situation where Rico had, after that first question, I'd referred her to human resources and gave her a number to call. real talk, because she trying to hem somebody up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that was a learned lesson to me right now, man. That's what I do. From that point forward, I like, look, man, I'm gonna let you know how to get in touch with them and find out. They can tell you all that.
Right.
They can tell you all that. I don't know. I ain't got time. I don't even want to think that deep about it.
Yeah, but man code, man. Women say that we do have man codes, and round about what we do. But Rico, how deep is it, man? And how serious are we about this man code thing? Are we serious about it?
Yeah, I mean, we should be. Well, I put it to you the way we should be serious about it, but I'm afraid that most people aren't, or they might not really have a clue of what it is. They sort of confused about it. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of Jezebel behavior. I got to get that word trademarked, man.
Yeah,
a lot of Jezebel behavior, man. A lot of here recently, the last, I'm gonna say 15, 20 years, man. I've heard young men hold other men to standards that women hold them to. And it would be opportunistic reasons. They didn't want to hang with nobody if they didn't wear a certain type of clothes. It's clique type of behavior. This vainness. I've seen a lot of vanity in men. I can remember actually in the late 90s, I saw it sort of happening in Atlanta. This was like when it was 14-1 or something like that, women to men.
Yes.
And I was walking through Cumberland Mall, and it was a man with his woman, and man, she was a nice piece of work, you know what I'm saying? But he wasn't being a gentleman. And I noticed that, you know what I'm saying, that I was able to meet women by being a gentleman. I guess just that old Southern hospitality type of thing that came off compared to that arrogance of the men. And one of the men, the guy that was with his woman, he was walking in front of him, and he like sort of complimented me on my jewelry. And I was like, oh, that's all right. You know what I'm saying, dude, give me a compliment on my jewelry. He's like, yeah, man, that's a nice ring. That's a nice chain you got on, man. He said, but it ain't nothing like this.
Wow.
Arrogant.
Yeah.
And she looked at him. She looked at him like, oh my God. I mean, you should have just saw the look on her face, like she couldn't believe a man felt that. So it was like I started seeing then that it wasn't about the woman being the picture and the man being the frame. Now men started believing they were the picture and the woman was the frame. So I stood that to me, that's that's a behavior that there's a whole lot of mindset and thought process that comes with that, with that mindset from that man. And so you'll see it in the way he operates, the way he backstabs you, the way he backdoors you and sneaks you and just all kind of little different things. I've been in situations where I've seen men look at the type of shoes that a man wears coming in a room, and then when he walk out, they crack jokes on him. Wow. This man been out here working, but they still cracking jokes because all of them got on Jordans. And I'm like, man, y'all really that vain and materialistic? So I'm starting to see a lot of, difference in that. I think we should have a man code, But I'm starting to see a lot of men willing to sell themselves for $1 in value to dollar material things more than women are.
That's good. That's good. Cornelius, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
All is well, my man. How are you?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Good to have you, brother. Definitely good to have you, man. We asked a question, and I want to hear from you, Cornelius. What is the man code? What is the man code? Does it exist, or that's something made up?
I believe it's something that's made up through the culture that we grew up in. Because I heard it coming up as a young man in the hood, you know, in the streets of Detroit. They will always say, you know, like stuff like other friends, you know, you broke the code when you date your best friend's ex, you know, stuff like that. You know, that's when you say that you done broke that code when it comes down to the man and stuff like that. But or you have some things that where a man may disrespect another man within the culture or what they believe in or how we all grew up. You feel like it's been a code that's been broken. You know, some things you just don't say, like if I disrespect and say something about your mama, well, you done broke the code. You know, stuff like that. So that's how I see it when he talks about codes and also with men.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thomas, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
Doing great. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Thomas, we're talking about the man code, but how much of a gap is it between the man code and the street code? Are there any differences there?
You know, me growing up, you know, the man code comes from the street. So I don't think there's too big of a difference. You know, I like to raise the question and ask, is the man code a physical, a physical word more than a mental word? And it depends on where you at. Now, what is the man code? How about the cats that's in prison? It's totally different than what's out here. The man code. You know, I speak to a lot of brothers in prisons and I hear the stories and the things they do. It's a total different world. You know, the man code in prison can get you killed instantly. The man code out here, growing up, it'll get you beat up. You know, it'll get your boy stop talking to you, you know, because you broke the code, you know. You know what? It's between me and you, you know. So to answer your question, I don't think it's too much of a difference because the man code come from the streets.
Leonard, is pillow talking? Is that a form of breaking the man code?
You know, I think we talked about that before. To me, that's weakness. If I'm enjoying myself, I don't talk business when I'm enjoying myself.
That's a nice way.
What do me and a woman got to talk about my business for? You know, that pillow talk is not a good thing. It's vulnerability is what it is. And men, is there certain, you know, we hold men accountable for different things, and there is a man code that exists wherever you go. Now, one, there's a street code has to do with criminal behavior, because that's what a lot of us engaged in, criminal behavior. Or, you know, there's different type of values and morals on the street. But men code is different. Like, say, for instance, I don't care where you go, a man should stand on what he says.
Yeah.
He should keep his word. He should be an honorable individual. That's real man code. It don't matter where you go.
Yeah.
You know, if I tell you something and you go and you tell these other guys and it get back to me, it's changed, you the weakest link. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Where a woman's, let's say, for instance, I'll tell you how it is with women. I'm very close with women. But one thing about women will say whatever they want and then try to change it.
And then try to change it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, one, I don't even trust a man that say one thing and say, I meant to say, no, brother, you better learn how to think before you speak around me. Because once it's out, it's out. Everybody not going to give you a second chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So check yourself. You know, that's that level of disrespect you have from one man to another. Like if you bring a girl, if you got a woman, all them dogs gonna make a shot at her. A real man not gonna do that to you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, he gonna let that woman choose. And then I'm gonna come to you and let you know she choosing. That's what real men do.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can either fight about it or you can go the other way. But you know, I don't like a lot of things I hear. Like the men are behaving like women now, especially since you can get paid to do it.
Wow.
A lot of the reality shows, when I see the behavior of those men, I was like, I would never treat my partner like that. Man, we real men, and that's why it don't interest me, because they act like immature little boys. You know, getting the attitude. If I see a guy with something nice on, like Rico said, that little thing here, man, I like that watch. It's not about me. It's about me liking what I saw.
Yeah.
But see that sly dude gonna do what Rico said. Not like this though.
Try to one up.
That's vanity to me. That's real vain to me. You know,
always trying to one up something.
Or what we call it is be like.
Yeah.
You know.
Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Yeah, it's be made. That's what we call it. You know, and I see that, to me the difference is the street code, but like what Leonard said, is more criminal minded. Anything goes. But with the real man code, there's a lot of honor and integrity about that. It's just some things you just not gonna do. I'm the type of person that I don't have to go behind you because there's enough women to go around. I shouldn't have to have the same thing that you had, but then you have some that feel like if you had her, then I could get her. So I need to test myself to prove I can get her. And then you have some that go back and say, well, man, that ain't low down. You know how the street code is. Nah, I'm about that man code. Some things you just don't do. If we supposed to be boys, is this and that. Some things you just don't do. Some lines you just don't cross.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm seeing more of that me mindset. Like I said, that vain mindset, man. I mean, it's you'd be surprised to see what young men don't know about what a man is supposed to be. You'd be very surprised, man. I mean, they really have a woman's mindset, and it's to the point now. The reason why you see so many videos of boys fighting their daddies, and they look so bad when they're trying to fight their daddies, because you can tell. Like I said earlier this morning, have you, or was it yesterday? Man, have you ever seen some of these boys try to throw a ball or actually throw a punch? It's pitiful. It's pitiful, but you know they run the scene right now. Some of these rappers, oh my goodness, they the tough guys. But if you see them out there punch shadow boxing, you know, oh man, no.
That ain't how you do it, bro.
In this life. So they don't even talk about a man code. The street code they talk about is grimy and low down and shiesty.
Wow.
And they love it.
Wow. Let me go to Willie. Willie, good. I was gonna say good morning. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
No wonder.
Can't hear you. There you go. I see you stuffing your face over there, man. How you gonna come and eat and not offer everybody something, man? We hungry too, brother.
I tell you, if I could give it to you, I would do
it. Good deal. Okay. We're talking about the man. We're talking about the man code, Willie. We're talking about the man code. Is it a generational thing, man? Do you think this newer generation has really just totally got away from the man code? Are they men or just grown boys?
Sometime when I was, and I think my dad thought
you're breaking up. You're breaking up a lot. You're breaking up there, Willie.
My dad thought I was crazy. Didn't like the music, you know. Oh, y'all going there?
Hey, hey, Willie, something going on with your sound, brother. Something going on with your sound. It's skipping real bad. Let me come back to you. I'll come back to you. Okay, good deal. Rodney, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, well, look at the brothers talk, especially the young man in the hat there. I brought back to mind an experience that I had back in the 70s. a lot of brothers came back from Vietnam. They came back on drugs. They came back alcoholics. You had, but one thing they had that man code. They had integrity, and you knew that if you said anything cross these guys, if the pastor or old lady walked down the street, they'd hide that liquor bottle. They'd hide that heroin needle. They were respectful. You didn't talk about their mamas. You didn't talk about their girlfriends. They had a code of conduct. And what ended up happening, younger guys, we learned our code of conduct in being a man. Now, going back on what Rico was saying, unfortunately, a lot of these young men don't have any concept of manhood. And that's why they imitate the feminine side of what they're doing. At the end of the day, like the brother said, in the joint, you break the code in the joint, you got a problem. And back in the day, that was the same thing back in the day. Back in the early 80s or 70s, you broke the man code. You at the basketball court in a hand fight. You know what I mean? It was serious. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, the male code, as far as I'm concerned, is a code of acceptable conduct. A lot of times these people are doing stuff, but when it's turned back on them, they got a problem with it. So at the end of the day, a lot of these guys don't understand the realm in which they deal with, because here's what happens. They start acting like a woman and they get a woman. Now you got two women arguing and fighting.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, the problem is they have no role models. And what they've done, they've taken the role models that was integrity, male strength, honor of family. They traded that, as the brother said earlier, for a gold chain and a wad of dollars. That's their code of conduct. Right now, they'll sell you to the highest bidder. All you got to do is, like the brother said, wear the right shoes, wear the right thing. It got nothing to do with your character. Look the right part and flash some dollars. Then they think you're a man. You know what I mean?
We had a conversation. I don't mean to cut you off there. Right. We had a conversation a while back on the Morning Glow about men and actors and stuff like that, and who would put on a dress, well dressed for a role if it paid X amount of money. We had that conversation, and it was a real. The conversation got a little heated. The conversation got a little heated, but it does sometimes, and that's how conversations go. But I stand on it, and still to this day, I stand on the fact that I don't care what role they try to bring to me and how much money they try to tell me that it's going to pay me. I'm not putting on that dress. I'm not. And like I say, and people tell me I'm wrong. It's just, and people say it's just a role, but to me, it's not. To me, it's much more than that, because there could be some little boys out there, man. I got grandsons, man. I got grandson. My grandson ain't gonna sit here and look at TV and see people with a dress on, man. Nah.
Raheem, here's the situation that you're talking about. Some of those guys, in their mind, in the back of their warped mind, they figure they'll take the loss for the bigger picture. All right, they'll make the money.
But there's two losses. Right. There's two losses.
Well,
to me,
but to you, in their mind, if I can get $5 or $6 million for a 30-second shot, you know what I mean, and build my empire, they might say it's might worth the risk. But you and I will say, man, look, that film's gonna be out there in perpetuity. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I mean, that gets back to my original point. They selling their souls for the dollar. Now there's some actors that will never, because I've heard this conversation before. There's some actors that will go broke before they even take that role on. And down the road, they do develop their career, but it takes a while. But at the end of the day, some guys want to take that shortcut. You know.
And some people, for each his own, man. Some people, that's what they. And I'm not gonna look down on anybody. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. It's not for me. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna put on that dress. You stack the money up to the top of the ceiling and tell me all you do is put this on for this particular scene and blah blah blah. Nah, man. Nah, there got to be another way we could do this. Cornelius, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Would you wear that dress?
Hey, man.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I was just thinking about a couple of things before you went on to that. I'm gonna go back to about the code in a minute, but let me make a comment on this one. I look back at like guys like Martin Lawrence when he had Shanae. I look at Jamie Foxx when he had what was the woman name he played?
I know exactly. I
forgot
can't
her
think of
name.
Wanda, wasn't it Wanda?
Wanda.
Yeah,
Wanda, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wanda. Yeah, when he played Wanda, I look back at Jaleel White when he played the girl in Family Matters, because he said when he first had to put that dress on, he cried, and they in the interview he did not want to do it. But I look back at those actors, and they became very successful. Like the brother just said, they built their empire off of that, and they are considered one of the most famous roles in the world. But they look at them now as man's man. You know, they're men. You know, rich men. So in saying that, I got to do what I got to do. If it's a lot of money there to be made, and I'm saying as a now as a non-believer, yeah, but as a believer, no, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't putting no woman's clothes on, no sir.
Yeah, exactly.
But going back to this point, I want to say this because you know I always be transparent on when I come on the show a lot of times. My son was born off of someone breaking the code. Let me explain. Years back, my best friend down in the neighborhood, we was like, I was going to see this chick, man. So we got in my car, we rode over to, on the deep east side of Detroit, went to go holler at this girl that I liked. And we met. I liked her. She had body. You know, back in the day, you coming up, you looking at the body like, man, what am I gonna do with that? So in my I was about like in my early 20s. I think I had to be like 19, 20 years old. So, or maybe 21. I can't exactly remember. But at that time, man, I was like, man, we met this girl. And sure enough, man, she liked my boy. So I got kind of like, so he ended up hollering at her. So her friend turned out to be my son's mother. So because she did what she did and he did what he did, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get revenge and get back at him and get back at her and holler at her girl, and that's how my son was born.
Wow.
Off of someone breaking the code. That's how it all began. So those things can happen in the aspects of life, man, and where you got to remember that you got to be careful on the choices you make and stuff, and don't be offended by what other folks do, but do what's right for you.
Exactly.
And that's just my little thing of wisdom, my pearl of wisdom I learned over the years.
There you go. There you go. Well, we actually going to transition over to another topic. If anybody have anything else they want to say on this man code, we can certainly stay here for a minute. Anybody else got anything they want to say on that, on man code? Okay. Thomas, coming to you, brother. Life has its trials, tribulations, and all kind of things going on, man. Everything is always moving at 100 miles an hour or more all the time. So I want to ask you something, Thomas. Brother, how do you relax? How do you get to a place where you could just relax, let it all go, and just relax and let life be life and just chill? How do you do that?
If you'd asked me that question if I was younger, I didn't know, because I had a hot head. As soon as you said something, boom, I hit you. That was me growing up. But, I learned. I seen my brothers, my brother, older brother go to jail. I see cats that I'm close with got shot, got killed, and then I had to wake up, and then I myself didn't do anything, but an accident happened to me where I'm an electrician besides carpenters and everything. Years ago, I'm doing the job and wind up getting electrocuted so bad that where the doctors didn't know how I made it to the hospital. Wow. So when things like that happen, because when they try to get blood out of my arm, it clot. So they hitting me with heparin, the blood in my stomach. The doctor don't know, like, how are you still alive? So I gotta say, I know it was God. Yes. So how I relax, by understanding whose God is, and understanding that He's real and how He saved my life. you know. So I have no choice but to relax. And I ask and I pray. And still today, I pray and ask God to help me relax. Help me not receive what you say, can hurt me. So it's how I receive it. I'm not going to receive it, crazy. I'm just, because I pray, Lord, whatever's coming at me, not receive it any way different than what it is, because it's sometimes it's not, what's not the deliverance. Somebody can come out hard. Somebody can be like, like for instance, let me change the subject real quick. You look pretty today, right? If you're nice looking, she might receive it like, oh, if you looking like, you're not too look and you say you look pretty, she'll receive it all wrong because of sometimes the way you look or how you say it. So it's how we receive things. Sometimes it's not what we said, it's how we receive it. So I try not to receive things too harsh. Just, you know what? I got things I want to do. I got a wife. I got kids. I got, so, and I pray and I thank God for helping me to do that.
That's good.
So I ask God.
Good deal. Rodney, how do you relax, brother?
Before Rodney answer that question, I do apologize for getting on late, but I got to go on MMM call.
Okay.
Because it's 8:36. But next week, I apologize. I'll be on there early. And I'm going to try to get more brothers to this real talk, but I do appreciate it. And this is a platform is much needed.
Yes, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. So
and you always got a seat at the table, brother. Come on back.
Yes, and God bless to all the brothers that's on tonight, visual and audio, and and may God, bless you, 100 times fold.
Likewise, brother. God bless you and appreciate you too, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
All right, God bless.
You too. Rodney, how do you relax, brother?
Well, if you had asked me about 15, 20 years ago, I would tell you Magic City. But
oh Lord.
But as I got it got too expensive. So anyway, but
they ain't relaxing. That's a bill, brother. That's a bill. Yes, sir.
But no, with me, to be honest with you, I really enjoy to relax me after days working stressful. I like yard work personally. I like to get in my yard, do some things. I happen to be blessed. I live near an 800-acre passive park. Sometimes I just go take a walk. And for me, it makes me realize that there's something bigger in the world than me. You know what I mean? It allows you to stop, sit back, and realize, looking at the sky, the trees blowing, and all this other stuff going on, you start to realize that you're really not that insignificant. And like the brother just said, whatever issues you got going on, sometimes that meditation time brings you back in, because in life we can get caught up with the reactions. You know what I mean? Get caught up in all the stuff that really ain't even important, but we make it important because our pride, or ego, and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, I realized as I get older, this time's gonna pass. And a lot of time we spend our time worrying and stressing out over stuff that really ain't even important. Yeah. So for me, I've learned just to take some time out. If that doesn't mean anything but sit in the backyard under the tree or take a walk in the park, you know what I mean? That's how I decompress pretty much.
Yeah. And it's very important that we all have that outlet, whatever the outlet is. I like to go fishing. I try to take Leonard fishing with me, man, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
You go fishing in Publix.
Exactly. Cornelius, how do you relax, brother? Cornelius?
Sorry about that. I was trying to get off mute. Gospel music, man. I listen to my gospel music to relax myself, and I love church, man, and that's my relaxation, because I go through a lot of things throughout the week at my job. So, and my job gets pretty stressful sometimes. So I have to I love to do ministry, and that's my relaxation. And then I have a little, you get these little apps on your phone with the games. I play the games and stuff like that, But other than that, those are like my main two things. And just sometimes I just like to sit down and kick it with my wife. We talk and different things like that, just talk about different events and, what's going on and stuff like that. And I just love to hear her talk, because I don't know about you gentlemen, man, but it's nothing like your wife's voice, man. It's like a soother, especially when you're feeling a little stressed about something. Because I know every time when I feel a little stressed at the job, I just call her, and it's like her voice kind of like massages my head almost, so to speak, to calm me down.
There you know, there you go.
I just have to hear her voice, and I thank God for that, for the connection that I have with her. But those are the three main things that help me relax.
Good deal. Good deal. Willie, how do you relax, sir?
I when I just had,
got a Bluetooth speaker on or something.
Hey, are you on speaker? Are you on speaker? Take it off speaker, Willie.
I'm on speaker. Yeah.
Take it off speaker.
I'm on there.
You have or do you have a if you have a headset, put your headset on.
Yeah.
That way it'll eliminate that as well. Why you do that? Let me go to Rico. Rico, how do you relax, brother?
Man, I read. Look, I got another book. This book, man, I got this when I was down in Florida, man. I used to read live. This one is called "It Didn't Start With You." It sort of talks about generational curses to a certain extent. The programming you get that's passed down from generation to generation, and the traumas based on the trauma that other people had. Maybe they phobias or fears, they pushed them onto you and had you feeling or living a certain way, and now you don't even understand why you function this way. It's because of the fears of your grandparents that was passed down. I read, man, and it's actually better reading on live stream when you have people watching, because if I just sit here and read to myself, I fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's too much relaxation, but that's how relaxing it is. I listen to old school music, man. I mean, get out and walk early in the morning before the birds even start chirping. When I know everything is dead. When every now and then, if you listen hard enough, about 4 o'clock in the morning, you might pass by somebody's house and they're not arguing. 4:30 in the morning, I mean, they're having a full-fledged argument. But it's just peaceful, man. Just observing life when everybody else is pretty much oblivious to it.
Wow.
But that's relaxing to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Looking down on I-20 and seeing very little traffic. Just when COVID kicked in, man, that was one of the most amazing times to me, because it made me realize what it was like before airplanes. You didn't see any planes in the sky. And that was like you didn't see too many cars on the road, and I was like, man, look how peaceful it is. Even though I can't get out and do all these things that I like to do, and people can't get out and do all the things that they like to do, man, just look how peaceful it is. You barely saw cars going up and down the road, very little traffic. I mean, it was like, whoo, man, it was it was like I was able to exhale.
Breath of fresh air, absolutely.
Man, it was wild, man. I mean, that feeling was so exhilarating, man. It's hard to describe, but I could really tell that was a sign that mankind needs to slow down, sit down, and take a breath and relax a little bit.
Exactly. Captain Leonard, how do you relax, brother?
Man, lots of different ways. One of the main things that I usually do all the time is I love stand-up comedy. So I'm always either streaming.
You do mean clean comedy, right?
No, I mean whatever makes me laugh. I listen to everybody. I stream comedy most of the time, or it's always up on one of my computers or something like that. And going away, I love the beach, walking on the beach. That's one of my favorite things to do of all times. But usually it's just peaceful, quiet. Like I say, I'm a information junkie. So I'm always studying or reading an article or something like that. Just reading and listening to comedy. And like my wife say, it's not that I ever do just one thing. So it's like I'm always streaming information. And that's how I relax usually, believe it or not.
Leonard, how intelligent is too intelligent?
Death.
That's good. Good answer.
Death. I mean, I think that's the only interesting thing about living is you can learn something new every day. Why not?
That's good. That's good. Willie, can we hear you, brother? Willie, you there? Rodney, take it while he's still getting himself together over there. What's on your heart, brother?
Oh no, that was your last question. I thought was interesting. I think that the too intelligent is when you're too smart to learn. That's too intelligent. When you think when you know everything, and you can't take in information and you can't evaluate the information you have. What I tell people in life is that the mind, and it's almost like reading the Bible. You can read it in certain points of your life and get different information, different viewpoints of it. Information the same way. If you retest the information, you learn more from it. So again, there's no such thing as being too intelligent. I mean, when you get to that point, you know, you're too smart to be stupid. You know what I mean? It's just that it doesn't make sense. So intelligence a lot of times is for me, you know, it's an ever growing, ever learning process.
Absolutely. Now, Willie, I think we'll probably be able to hear you, but I think you got to turn up a little too loud. Let me see what it sound like over there, Willie. Willie?
Okay, you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, keep talking. Gotta make sure it's not scary.
Good.
Some going on. Call in, brother. 508-924-3521. Call in.
Let me change.
Okay.
I'm gonna change computers.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Cool beans. Rico, talk to me, brother. Cornelius coming to you next.
What was that question again?
Well, the last question I asked is how intelligent is too intelligent?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it like Rodney just said, man. If it ever gets to a point to where you can't take any kind of criticism or I don't want to say instruction, but I mean advice. You know, sometimes you can take advice. You know, look at information or look at things in more than one way. You know, you got to be open minded. I mean, that's what I like, man. It's funny that you said that, man, because I was thinking earlier, and I think I actually went and made the post on Facebook that it's always beneficial to be keenly aware and observant. Because when you are always aware and observant, then you taking in information. You always taking in what's going on around you. And I swear, man, sometimes I feel like I get too much information. I'm like, Leonard, man, I mean, look, sometimes I get up in the morning when I'm walking and I just have a good speaker on, or I'll turn it on and I don't want to even see the video. I just want to listen to it. And I take it in, and it just seems to sink in, man. But I mean, it's relaxing to me, you know. Always being able to learn something, or actually hearing other people confirm something that you thought of and you never heard anybody else say it.
Wow.
So I mean, you know, it's all, man. You know, to me, you can never be too intelligent. You know, I think you can be overconfident, you can be arrogant, you can be to the point where you do think you know it all, but I'm always willing to receive more information and find other points of view, you know, alternative thought processes, to even try to see if I could logically relate to how they feel, the way they feel about something. I might not believe it, and I might not agree, but at the same time, I can understand why a person may think a certain way, and understand that the way they are thinking is, even though it may be ultimately wrong, I understand why they feel the way they feel. So I mean, you know, there's always, you know, you have to be open-minded to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's what I think. I'm always trying to learn, man. I mean, like I said, I'm appreciating and learning all the time, learning new stuff all the time.
Cornelius, what do you say to that, brother? How intelligent is too intelligent?
you're not willing to learn more from others,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not willing to receive nothing from others.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're too intelligent, you just it's all about you, and that's something that where you got to make sure that that's a lack of humility when you feel like you're too intelligent. So that's how I would put that. I'm not going to add too much to it because I don't want to be talking off the wall on nothing. But that's about it. And I agree with everything that was just said, and I just put it to that aspect right there.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, let me ask you another question. I'm the question asker, and I like to ask questions.
Here it comes.
Leonard, what is more valuable to you? The things you see or the things you hear? What is more? And I'm not talking about your sight or your vision, your sight or your hearing, but what is more valuable to you? The things that you see with your eyes or the things that you hear with your ears? What is more valuable?
I use them both equally because I have them. I maximize that.
See, you're complicating my question now.
I mean, it ain't that complicated. I'm telling you the truth. You want me to lie to you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Tell me which one is more valuable.
Neither one is more valuable to me. I would rather not lose either one of them.
No. We're not talking about losing it now. We're not talking about losing it. I'm saying the things that you see, is it more valuable than something that you hear?
No.
Okay. That's your stance. Rico, what do you say to that?
I'm a light sleeper, so I can pretty much hear things when I'm asleep, even though I might not be able to see them. When Anna Nicole Smith went through her, little accidental death or whatever, and when T.O. went through his thing, so many different things. I heard it on the news. When I woke up, I was already aware of every bit of the details, even though I got all the sleep I needed. Everything I heard on the news that came on, I was able to receive that information. So if I hear somebody walking around outside the house or something like that, I'm gonna get up and wake up. So, my hearing, man, I always thought to myself, how would it what's the difference of who has it worse, a blind person or a deaf person? And man, that's a hard one, man. That's a hard one. But me personally, I know that I value hearing a lot. I mean, well, I ain't gonna even say I value it more than sight. I just know that it works even when I'm asleep, and I don't see anything but what's in my head. I'm dreaming when I'm sleeping. But when I'm hearing, I actually might picture it in my mind as I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? So I think my hearing might be more valuable, might be a little bit more powerful.
Okay, good deal. I'm coming to you again, Willie. Just make sure we see. Hopefully, got a better connection this time. But what is more valuable to you, man? And I'm not talking about your vision or your hearing, but the things that you see or the things that you hear. What is more valuable to you?
Things that I see. I hear a lot of things. They might not necessarily be true. But the things I see, I know are fact. So,
what about the trickery of the hands? The hands are passing the eyes, or whatever they say. How the magicians say that stuff.
Yeah. That happens. A lot of them that try that. But I'm thinking more of a long term. More of a long term. Yeah, because that flash in the pan, that trickery right there. 10 minutes later, you say, "Oh, it was a trick," and you've gone back to straight vision. But a friend of mine, I was working with, we worked together, and I told her, she just told me her kids would complain, always having some problems at school. They weren't doing this, they weren't doing that. And she said counseling and all those things just didn't work, and she didn't know what to do. I told her to look at yourself. You set the example. They're gonna look at you. If you're doing this, and you're going crazy and flip-flopping and don't know, what are they gonna do? You can tell them, you better be good in school, you better listen to them, but they're seeing you do the opposite. And they're mirrors of you.
Yeah.
When she decided to go back to school, she went to Georgia Tech, Georgia State. Finally got her bachelor's degree. The kids all of a sudden started changing. I said, do your homework together at the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of you do your homework at the table. I do it with my daughter. Do your homework. Set the example. So I'm not telling her. I'm telling her, but she's doing because she sees me doing this.
Good deal. Good deal. Rodney, what is more important to you, brother? The things you see or the things you hear?
Well, my background a little bit is in sales, so I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. So what I learned in life is that the people.
So you, like Leonard said, won't be lied to you. So you're allowed to.
I'll paint the truth, but my thoughts are like this. It's like this. I'll give you an analogy. If your woman tells you she loves you every day, but she's messing around, you gotta watch your eyes. People, how the old saying goes, if people will show you how they feel about you. So at the end of the day, people are going to tell you how they feel at the moment, but long term, their actions will dictate what corner they're really in. I've been in a lot of situations where people have said the right thing, but if you follow their actions, it was contrary to what they were coming out of their mouth. So I tend to watch people's actions more so than their words coming out of their mouth.
Absolutely.
Everything I need to know.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Cornelius, what do you say to that, man? What is more valuable to you, the things you saw or the things you heard?
Wow.
Kind of deep in it.
Yeah, because I consider both of them being valuable, but if I'm forced to put one above the other, I would say the things that I saw. Because why would I choose that? Because the things that you hear could be false, but the things that you see are reality. I will put it like that because some things I've heard over the years, I couldn't find out later down the line that it wasn't true. And the things that I saw,
have it ever been a situation, Cornelius? Have it ever been a situation where you thought you saw something, but you didn't see what you really thought that you thought you saw?
Yes, yeah, and that's why it's kind of shaky there. And it's some things that I've heard that I knew that was real. So so you just kind of, it's like I guess you just kind of weigh it out through life, and you find out which one will be which one have you experienced that out of your life. The thing that you hear, the thing that you saw was much more that you personally in life is where you put more above, but both of them are valuable.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm on the lines with what Leonard was saying earlier. But if I'm forced to choose, I would go with that. But like I said, both of them can be false or true. So
absolutely.
Kind of difficult to choose.
That's good.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I was coming up, there was a saying in the church: if you want to, because most preachers, they preach out of the word. What was told to me was, watch how his wife responds when he's preaching. Watch how his children are, because he's saying the right things. But if the person you're sleeping with is making a face like it's unbelievable, that tells you that what you're hearing and what's going on is not correct. So what a lot of times you've got to look at the fruits of what you're dealing with, and then you evaluate what you hear. Because again, you got to consider the source. A quick story, and I'm gonna let this go. When I was getting engaged to my wife, I was at the Elks Club, sitting there having a couple of shots with some of the older brothers, and the guy began to give me advice on marriage. All right, and me, my smart self, I had a few drinks. I said, "Let me ask you a question, brother. How many times you been married?" "I'm married 5 times." "Oh, you have?" I said, "I tell you what. Now you can continue to talk. Now I know what not to do." So what I'm saying is that I'll take any information, but I just want to know. I want to know where you coming from, and then you can share the information. And then I can watch your movement and watch what's going on. But again, you know, you got to test the information that's coming to you, and you test it by sight.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, how you doing this evening, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm doing fine. Doing fine. The prayer rate's doing well there.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Where do you come up with these things? So you're on the order.
I gotta ask you the question, brother. I gotta ask you the question. What is more valuable? Sir. What is more valuable to you? The things you see or the things you hear?
Sort of easy. I watched Jamie Foxx on the Actors Guild, and he was talking about his role playing Ray, and that he sort of stilled his eyes up for 12 hours doing the whole shoot, and he's talking about how to imbalance of that. And I was thinking about that being hyper-vigilant that comes from being in combat, and I was thinking, it's your eyes that gives you the ability to detect what's happening in the world around you. It's your eye that can look in other folks' eyes and detect what they possibly be thinking, their body language. So it's eyes. You know, I used to try to turn it off. It's still like when I walk out the door. I mean, I research. I go through the area real fast. When I'm out in the market, I'm always aware of everything around me, watching people around me, especially the kind of things that's going on now with these people going and shooting and stuff, right? I think it's your eyes. I think for me, it's like extending. And even my life, it's the things that I've seen that impact me the most.
Okay.
But
that's good.
Hearing, but it's even the thing about Ray when he lost his sight, his hearing was so hypersensitive that he actually was seeing with his hearing. It's almost like the human body, human instrument had the ability to redesign itself to go around and compensate and still make you I mean, God's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Greatest. Anybody have anything else they want to say on this right here before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, man. I sort of misunderstood it.
Oh,
go ahead.
I sort of misunderstood it.
I'm sorry, man. I'm going right quick. I get the way. I was going to add one more quick thing. See, with the faith walk, it's what you hear. It's not what you see, because we didn't see Jesus died and rose again. But we heard and we believed. And we go by what we see in the Bible and what we hear, what the Word of God tells us. But then we go by what we believe by faith.
Yes.
By hearing the Word of God. So that's the part that's more important with the hearing. Because we didn't see the Apostle Paul's, and we didn't see all the great men of God that wrote the Bible and everything, but we believe by faith because of our hearing. So, and that's the most key part that I wanted to just emphasize on that.
Good deal, Rico.
See, I was sort of going in that direction because I misunderstood the question slightly and started thinking about which one was more valuable. And it's hard to try to discern between the two. And when I went and said that about the hearing, I didn't really recognize that I was thinking about the unconscious reality.
Yes.
How important your hearing is in that unconscious reality, like he was saying about listening and understanding and walking by faith. But you know, my motto has always been, words ain't nothing but sounds that come out your mouth. So actions speak louder than words. So I mean, you know, that's why in that conscious reality, in the conscious reality of when you are awake and walking and living this experience, I think the sight is more valuable because people can say anything, like everybody said once before. So, you know, that I think in the conscious reality, the sight is more important, but in unconscious reality, like when you are asleep or in believing in faith and religion, then it's more important of what you hear and trying to get an understanding and picturing in your mind what it is you're hearing, you know, like what Hicks just said. You know, some people can actually paint a picture in their mind because of this sensitive hearing.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, just listening, you know, it is very valuable to me because, like, say, for instance, I'm always trying to sharpen all of my senses.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one, to make the best evaluation, I use all those senses. That's why I have them. And I don't neglect one for the other. Like, say, for instance, food can look good, but if it stinks, you can't tell me you in there. You know, you ever go in there, somebody, oh, that's the best food in town, and blah. Yeah, it looked like a restaurant. I see the pictures on the wall, but I don't smell nothing. How y'all selling barbecue and I don't smell none?
Yeah.
I don't smell. I know I don't smell no charcoal.
Exactly.
You know, like remember Burger King, flame broil,
Yeah.
flame, and you they taking that out the freezer. Is it a real fire?
Yeah,
But somehow they can make it taste charred, and that's why folks used to go to Burger King because of that char grill taste.
Yeah,
you get. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's why I say I use them all, just like an animal. I use everything, so I don't shortchange myself.
Yeah, that's good. Leave it to Leonard, boy. Leave it to Leonard. Willie, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I have to. When the brother said you got to hear, I said that makes a lot of sense. But and I thought about it now, playing devil's advocate. Somebody had to see it first in order to talk about it, in order to write it down. If they didn't see these miracles, you can't hear somebody getting healed. You can hear them ask, and then you might hear them run away and judge it out, but you don't really know what's happening. Somebody got to see that in order to write it down and record it so that others in the future can hear about it. Chicken before the egg, or egg before the chicken will come first.
Right.
That's good. Cornelius, I heard you over there, brother. What's on your heart? Was that Cornelius or was that Oh, that was right. Okay. What's on your heart, brother?
It was interesting. As these brothers were talking, I kind of went back to Genesis. The beginning was a word, and obviously, what you hear will impact your movement and bring things to fruition. When I alluded to the thing earlier about people's actions tell you how they feel about you, it all started with the word because they came up with a concept in their head, what they heard, and they acted accordingly. So a lot of times people, it's almost like this. If I hear something about you, Raheem, true or untrue, that paints my picture on how I interact with you.
Yeah.
It may be factual, maybe infactual. And then what I start looking for, sometimes I start looking for actions to verify what I've heard. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be very careful about both those. As I said, there, you know, as Leonard and Device alluded to, those things actually go hand in hand. Because at the end of the day, with the word and the image in your head, that creates the picture, that creates the movement, that creates the vision, that creates the action. And a lot of times when we're looking at the action, we're looking at the final product, which necessarily may or may not be real. So I mean, it's really, somehow you've come up with a real complicated question. Easy but complicated question.
Wow, exactly. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we go to something else? That's good.
I had one thought.
Okay. I know somebody got something. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, I was trying to formulate it just from my experience, dealing therapeutically, dealing with people that have problems. A lot of times the actions, if you try to judge a person by what you see, what they do, the motivation for the action is something totally different than on those lower level, like Rico was saying, the subconscious. The subconscious are things that are happening to us, or things that wounded us in some kind of way. The way the mind protects itself to blank it out, we don't remember it anymore. But it subconsciously, it ramifies itself in all these different kind of actions diplomatic, or being all of the different things. Actually, until 1972, they classified homosexuality as a mental disorder.
Yes.
With root in these things. So I'm saying, it's like everybody's saying, it's like a mixture of those things. But in terms of hearing and faith and belief, it's for me, it had to be a thing of knowing, because believing, I believe in many things in my life, and found the foundations of them through the failure of them implying in reality that they were faulty.
Wow.
And I didn't keep with that foundation. I stripped. And to me, it was that personal experience that I always talked about again. Getting in contact with that thing that's around us, inside of us, that filters itself through an understanding and a continuous studying of the scriptures and those stories, not just the books that was accepted as canon, all those books that were left out. In their totality, it gives you a awe and a ability to keep searching, because it's a mystery. But
Good
in the end, this glorious ending.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna play this video and we're gonna go to another square. I'm gonna play this video right quick. I want to let everybody take a look at this particular video, and then we're gonna continue. Watch this video for me if you all don't mind. Give me some sound here. I'm glad I got your attention. I'm actually sitting in my kitchen right now, enjoying breakfast, wondering what I need to do to help you and your business succeed. Give us a call. Let's have this conversation. Let's have the discussion. What can I do to help your business succeed? Give us a call. If you need any assistance, give us a call. We got what you need to help you get where you want to get. Together we can. Right. Together we can. Let me see who I'm gonna start this one off with. Let me start this one off with Willie. Willie.
Yes, sir.
I caught you with the jaws for it, and I know, brother. I know, brother. What lesson as a child you learned that still affects your life today? What lesson as a child you learned, regardless of who taught it to you, the example, good, bad, or indifferent, as a child you learned that still affect your life as a grown man today?
Well, I'm gonna talk about the negative one first. I'm gonna start with the bad one and then go with the good one.
Okay.
Bad one was that I listened or believed that this teacher was telling me something, but I was no good in biology. It's a white lady. I was no good in biology. That and at the time was and that I needed to, technically that I was dumb.
Wow.
And I kept that in my head from about 14 to my late 40s. Even though things were, I saw some things, like ASVAB, and it was good in the school, but that affected me in a way that I took it as being, okay, well, they know this is their area, and they lied. That was a lie.
Did that for a time or a period in your life, did that kind of handicap you a little bit?
It did. It put me in directions that I wouldn't have went, fields that I would have done earlier, because I felt and had this belief that, they knew more than me or better than me. That kind of stunted me from doing certain things. So in retrospect, when I overcame that and realized what that lie was, I'm 40 years old. And now you can't tell me I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do whatever in school. I'm already planning on going to law school. I was thinking about going to law school when I finish this MD. In less than 2 years, I'll be an MD. Now I thought about going ahead and starting law school, doing something else. I think I'll look up and say, my grandkids gonna say, I can't go to him and complain. You know, I cannot. I can't say it's too hard. So that's my positive message out of that. And as a child, I learned to listen to my mother. You know, that was my, and I learned a lot from it, and I learned a lot from my father by telling me, as I became a man, what things I needed to not listen to or let go. Because I got to walk on this ground as a man, not cowering, not bowing down to everybody that comes around, and to take some of that. I need to stand up and represent my family, and that was what I learned from my father, which is positive, and I'm very proud of him. Helping me out. I didn't like some of the help he gave me, but it molded me. Both of them together molded me to who I am today.
Absolutely, good deal, good deal. Rodney, what lesson as a child you learned that still you use today, and it make you who you are, the man that you are today? What lesson did you learn as a child?
Well, I was adopted at the age of 2, and went through various foster families, and I had realized that early on that my success and failure in life is based on my own responsibility. I had a job at the age of 13. I was making my own money, doing my thing. I realized when I got my own apartment at the age of 19, I had my own apartment, 2 cars, and I realized that if I didn't pay the bills, I wasn't going to eat. I wasn't going to be able to survive. My adopted parents have always told me that God looks out for babies and fools. So throughout my childhood, I realized that my success wasn't my doing, is that I've been protected and sheltered all my life. At the age of 60 going on 62, never been homeless, never starved, raised a family. I've done all these things coming from an adopted point of view. So I understood one thing as a child. If you work hard, do what you're supposed to do, treat people with honesty, respect, and integrity, sometimes you miss the mark. But I believe in the law of reciprocity. Whatever you put out there, it's going to come back to you. I'm going to be testament to that. You treat people fairly, you get it back.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Me knowing Leonard, I've been knowing Leonard for a while. You became one of his favorite people because Leonard loved hearing a story of somebody overcoming. He loved that. That's something in there, and I just know that about him. He loved hearing the story of somebody overcoming. Leonard, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Just listening to him. That's why I will listen. Cause see, it's not about what happened. It's never about what happened to me. Like, say for instance, I hear people. I'm learning to listen to people's story more when I hear certain brothers say, "Well, somebody told me I wasn't gonna never make it." Even as a little boy, I ain't gonna listen to no hater. Why would I listen to somebody that don't like me saying negative things about me? Why would I even care what that person says? So even as a kid, just like I am today now, I'm with brothers would make it. Let's tell that story that Brother Rodney told. Because that's the way it should go. That's the best way. I mean, look, he took what he had and he made something out of what it was. You know what I'm saying? Where somebody else, me and my friends, for instance, that I have now, we grew up together. We were determined not to be statistics. It don't matter what no teacher tell us. Don't matter what nobody say to us because we have to make it because of who we are. Men. That's why we got to do it. We got to do it to the best of our abilities. What we not going to do is believe what haters have to say about us because they don't mean us no good. Anybody that comes to you with anything you can't use for your benefit, don't listen to them ever again. I don't care if it be your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, or who it be. They have let you know they are not on your side. And these people are usually not going to contribute to your success. So don't waste another minute on what they have to say.
Right.
Good deal. Good deal. Cornelius, what lesson as a child you learned? What lesson as a child you learned that still affect your life in a positive way today? Cornelius, that mute button got you again, didn't it? It's right there, brother. Push that button right there. Right there. Yeah. You just like Detroit Lions in the end zone. You can't find it.
Low blow, low blow.
Man.
Cornelius, you there, brother? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to you. Rico, talk to me, brother. What lesson that you learned as a child that still affect your life in a positive or even a negative way today?
Well, I mean, man, I learned it both ways. You know what I'm saying? Two wrongs don't make it right. But then I also learned that it make it even. So that's in a good way and a bad way. So, you know, treat people the way you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? To respect people, that you have to earn respect. So you have to carry yourself in a respectful manner. Those things, man, you know, behaving in a certain way in public, carrying yourself in an honorable way, being truthful and honest, you know what I'm saying, and wanting to earn what you have and not steal and take from other people. I mean, I don't believe in backdooring people. I don't believe in stealing or tricking somebody out of anything. You know, I'm about my word. You know, it's so many different things about, you know, the code of ethics that Rodney was talking about earlier, man. Those are the things that I remember growing up on. And, you know, what's funny is I got that from my grandmother, but I also got that from my stepfather. And he was the one that abused me. You know, he taught me some of those good virtues about what a man is supposed to be and how to be respectful and to respect other people's property, other people's marriage, you know. But at the same time, he made me dysfunctionally aggressive. You know, he was the one that taught me how to handle anger in the wrong way. So, you know, the good and the bad side to that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but you know, that's, you know, it's even dysfunctional to even have to get that from your grandmother and your stepfather instead of from your mother and your father, though. I mean, that just goes to show you sometimes just how, you know, like with Rodney coming up and adopted like he did, he didn't he had to learn by trial and error pretty much, you know what I'm saying? He had to be extra keen on his observations, you know, and still have something inside of him that made him resilient and say, you know what, man, I'm still gonna stand on something deeper than what I'm being told or what I'm being exposed to.
That's good. That's good. Mr. Hicks, talk to me, brother. What is it as a young man you learned, as a child that you learned that still affect your life in a positive and or a negative way today?
Wow, you know, you got me sitting here going like pictures of my childhood. When you said you got me searching. I want to say the first thing that popped in my mind, and I wasn't going to say it because I don't know if it was positive or negative. You know, I used to try to be positive, but I want to keep it real. I guess the first lesson I got, I think I was about maybe 6 years old. I was with my grandparents. I was, for those first 7 years of my life, I was raised with my grandfather and grandmother on the farm. And, you know, cows, pigs, and chickens and all that. And we had this one piglet. He was like a rebellious piglet. It wasn't like none of the other piglets. He was always escaping. And my grandfather and me and my little brother, we were always trying to hem it up to catch it and try to get it, right? And it was like a real task. We'd get him, and my grandfather would put him back in the pen, and then he'd patch up weight, try to figure out where he's going to try to get out. And the next day, for sure, he'd be out again. Running on, he'd just be free. He wouldn't go out running away from the farm. He'd just walk around just free.
Just chilling. Chilling.
And my grandfather was mad. My grandfather was a gentleman, but he was sort of quiet, of that Indian kind of type, that kind of quietness. And but he was a nice man, good to me, good to everybody I saw. And he was chasing the pig. This one day we was chasing this piglet around. I had a corner. My brother had a corner, and my grandfather had it. My grandfather was almost 7 foot tall. He used to be a pro baseball player in the Negro League, and he slipped and fell. It was like one of them hard football falls. And when he got up, his eyes was blazing, and he caught this little piglet by his hind foot, and he started beating him on the ground. And I was shocked. I was stunned. I was like paralyzed. I just talked to this little pig. I just go tell him, like, why are you trying to get away? But he was like a good little fun thing, right? And he's beating it. And he was walking, and I was looking, he was walking down this road going toward the gully. He saw all the rubbish and stuff in this big old hole back in the woods. And he was beating this piglet, and he threw him down in the gully. And my first lesson was in that instance, right? Was that people to be so mean and so cruel, and I was afraid of people.
Wow.
I was afraid of this, and I saw it later on with my father when he would fight my mother, and I had this anger building inside me because I knew that people, and I saw it all around me. There were good people, there were bad people, and then sometimes there's people that you could be good and bad at the same time. And I think when I went on about what happened in my life, how all this stuff was revealed to me, was that it made me understand where the anger was coming from in me, where the distress in people was coming, and that's in terms of being delivered. Was not just being delivered like I don't have to still battle because it's a daily struggle, but I understand where it's coming from. So I guess. But it's like the contrast now, the balance.
Yeah.
I didn't see it initially. All the good people that God put in my path.
Wow.
Those small things. Yeah, but
I got you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cornelius, you back with us? Cornelius, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You heard
sorry about that. Someone was talking to me.
You heard what I said about you. You heard what I said. Hold on. You heard what I said about you, didn't you?
No, I did, man. What you say, man?
I said you find that mute button is like Detroit Lion trying to find the end zone. You can't find it. It ain't there.
No, I actually, my supervisor was talking to me, man. So, I'm getting ready to shut it down after I say this little piece. Because I gotta get ready to get back to the grind.
Okay.
Yeah. And I hate to get off because it's been so good, man. But
Appreciate
I gotta go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, you said what we learned from our childhood. That was the question.
Yes, sir. What as a child you learned that still affect your life in either a negative or a positive way today?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. So many different things. I'm gonna select one. A couple and they'll be short. Yeah, I'll go to two. A couple will be short.
Okay.
My father used to tell me years ago, man, nothing for nothing leaves nothing. You don't put nothing in, you ain't gonna get nothing out. So as I began to grow and I realized that at that time I didn't understand it by and by. I had to understand it by and by. You really, if you don't put nothing in whatever you're trying to do to impact your life, man, that even the positive, negative, nothing gonna come out of it. So and I think that wisdom really stuck with me over the years. Even with my walk with Christ, man. Going to church, reading the Bible, praying, and all these things. And if I don't put, because the Bible teaches that draw nigh to Him, He will draw nigh to us, and so on and so forth. If I don't put those things in, or maximize my efforts to get close to God, then it'll be tough growing spiritually. So, and that's something that is so key. And then my last one is that for my son to impact myself as a father, on the negative side, my father used to browbeat me a lot. And I learned through the years, it tore down my self-esteem as a person. And that's where, as in that day and age, those adults that was brought up that way, they figured that to put you down is to motivate you, but it had an opposite effect on me. So in that, I learned not to do that to my son, but always try to encourage him in the aspect of telling him he can be someone, he can do good. Even when I feel like I'm about to emotionally explode at him, I have to literally bring it in and tell him, man, you better than this. You can be somebody. You can, whatever the trials and tribulations. I just told him today, I was trying to encourage him that I'm trying to help him get a job here with me, making way more money than what he's making. And he was just like, well, Dad, I ain't never worked in a warehouse. I said, man, out of all the trials and tribulations you've been in life and the stuff that you struggle with at the 28 years you've been here, adapting to a warehouse job and doing this is nothing compared to what you done been through. And he's like, yeah, Dad, you're right. You know, so I said, you can adapt to this. That's nothing. You know, exactly. So just trying to motivate and encourage, you know, to help him get better as an individual as well as myself. So those are the things I've learned over the years that may help me be a better man, a better husband, a better father, a better role model to even the youth at my church and even my other brothers and sisters to the point as well, my wife. Because before my wife stepped into the ministerial, receiving her minister license, that's what she told in her meeting with my bishop. And then she said my husband was my motivator because I seen him striving and getting up tired and serving ministry and doing all those things, and it motivated me to be the best person I am as in the body of Christ. So that's good. Those are the things that really helped me throughout the years, man.
Praise God.
Nothing but nothing leaves nothing.
Absolutely.
You don't put nothing in, you ain't gonna get nothing out.
Good
That's
deal.
just my little take on that. Sorry if I took so long.
No.
I gotta get back to the ground.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Love you, man.
All right, love you too.
Yes, sir. Now this is we got it's 32, and I'm gonna take a couple of minutes. We're gonna do something a little different that we've never done on Real Men. We've been doing Real Men for I guess about 14 years. This is something I've never done on Real Men Being Men. We're gonna have us a competition. How y'all feel about that?
We're gonna the best looking one. So I don't know how we're gonna handle this.
Okay. We're gonna go in this area right. This gonna go in this order right here. Rodney, Leonard, Willie, Rico, and Mr. Hicks. That's the circle that's gonna go in. So Rodney, Leonard, Willie, Rico, and Mr. Hicks. Okay. We're gonna name, and you gotta name something. I'm gonna throw a category. I'm gonna throw something out there, and y'all gotta name something in this circle. All right. We're gonna eliminate. I was gonna eliminate, but I think we're gonna keep it going for the sake of being fun. We only got a few minutes. We're gonna keep everybody in, but I was gonna eliminate people as we got down to one person. We're gonna be the winner. So Rodney, we start off. Say it again. Hello.
Eliminate. If you don't eliminate, it's not competition.
Okay, so we're gonna eliminate. If anybody take more than 2 seconds to name what it is that's in this category to keep it going, you eliminate it, and we're gonna go to another category. Okay. So the order is this. Remember the order, because I don't want you to say I didn't know the order. The order is this: Rodney, Leonard, Willie, Rico, and Mr. Hicks, and that's gonna keep circling in that way. All right. Rodney, name, and we're gonna start off real easy, real simple, and we're gonna get more complicated as we go. Little boy names that start with the letter M.
Michael.
Get set. Go.
Michael.
Mark.
Marlon.
Myron.
No.
Oh, Lord.
The person got eliminated.
You got me.
Now you the one that say eliminate. See, you the one that said do the elimination, man. I wasn't gonna eliminate. All right, but Mr. Hicks, this round you eliminated. We're gonna name something else.
Oh, okay.
And so it's still the same thing, same order. Rodney, same order y'all was going in. Just when somebody get eliminated, they just not there. Name girls' names. Leonard, we're gonna start off with you. Girls' name that start with the letter S.
Serena.
Sally.
Shay.
Samantha.
Leonard, you know it's your turn, right?
Oh, we keep going.
Yeah, it keep going. It keep rotating in a circle.
Oh, I didn't.
It keeps rotating.
It's gonna last all day, man.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
You run out of names.
I guess
No. Because we're gonna let you stay right there. As a matter of fact, Hicks, we're gonna bring you back in too. We starting over now. This is it. It's Hicks.
Okay.
We bring you back in.
Okay, get my tears off my eyes.
Higgs, you got 10 minutes to answer.
Okay, we're gonna start. Willie, we're gonna start off with you. All right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Name vegetables.
Cabbage.
Cauliflower.
You gonna keep on going?
Wasn't a letter, was it?
No. It was just a vegetable. Yeah, we're gonna okay. We'll start off again with you, Willie. Name vegetables. Ready, set, go.
Carrot.
Celery.
Collard green.
Cauliflower.
Greens.
You gonna skip Hicks?
Finish.
Yeah. Y'all skip Hicks. Yeah, y'all. Rodney, you skipped it, Mr. Hicks.
You
Mr.
took
Hicks
too long.
You didn't give him a chance to do nothing. You didn't give him a chance. Okay, here we go.
You wasn't gonna say nothing anyway.
Of course he was. Of course he was. Rico, we're gonna start off with you. Name watch this. This gonna be very interesting. Name no letter. Don't worry about no letter. Just name something. Name this right here. Kinds of cars. Rico, go.
Toyota.
Mr. Hicks.
Wait a minute. Make a model.
Do it.
Any.
Okay.
Porsche.
Do it.
Range Rover.
Honda.
Bugatti.
Chevrolet.
Cadillac.
BMW.
DeLorean.
Honda.
Lincoln.
Chevy.
Mustang.
Ford.
Rolls Royce.
What's that called? What's that?
That's not fair. He said 10 minutes. He had 10 minutes.
He said,
I'll be the only one losing.
He said, what's that car? What's that car?
I don't want to play no more.
Rico, starting off with you. Watch this. This should be so easy.
Oh,
right?
you just started off with me, didn't you?
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah.
Who I didn't start off with yet? I think I started off with everybody already.
It would have been Hicks. This would have been Hicks if you'd have started. If he'd have stayed in.
He eliminated. Rodney, we'll start off with you. Okay. This can be too doggone easy. I'm trying to think of something that's gonna be a little more complicated. Okay. Name. Okay. Name cities in the state of Georgia.
Valdosta.
Carmen.
Carrollton.
Hazelhurst.
Lawrenceville.
Dahlonega.
Cartersville.
Kennesaw.
Statham.
Brazelton.
Atlanta.
Okmulgee.
Dacula.
Lenny, you know you're eliminated, right?
Yeah. I thought it was on me. I couldn't remember.
Okay.
Hey, he done threw me up. He done threw Georgia out there. I'm all in Alabama, man. We got me naming Georgia cities, man. Luckily, I got lost the other night coming back from Jacksonville. If I hadn't got lost, boy, I wouldn't have said none of them names right now. I'm telling you.
All right, here we go. We got Rodney, Willie, and Rico. Y'all are the three that's left. Name.
Who's first though? Who's going?
Let's go with Willie first. Willie, name. I'm trying to think of something that's good. Okay. Name male artist, music artist. Ready? Go. You gotta go fast. It's gotta be
Michael
quick.
Jackson.
Right.
What did he say?
Michael Jackson.
Usher.
R. Kelly.
Prince.
James Brown.
Luther Vandross.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Ruben Studdard.
Marvin Gaye.
God, don't it. Oh, you got me now.
Rico, me and you, baby.
And we are the last two, huh?
Last man standing.
Now listen, this got to be rapid fire. This got to be rapid fire.
Oh,
you know, no pause. So if anybody pause at any time, you lost. There's only two of you, so we got to go back and forth. Name Okay. Name no letter. Don't worry about the letter. Name cartoon characters. We go first.
Bugs Bunny.
Rabbit. Man, I should have went first.
Like to tell you think about
I should have
Roadrunner.
said Raheem.
Okay. Now, see, I just want to do something because, like I said, a lot of time we have a lot of serious topics. I just want to have something to just have a little fun, man. I think that was good.
That was good.
Now let's do this right here. I'm gonna start off with you, Mr. Now, this is not the same thing. We're just gonna name some stuff that come to our minds, and we can go in any order. Don't worry about the order. Name cliches. Name what kind of cliches can you think of? Mr. Hicks, give me one.
As a man thinketh his heart, so is he.
Anybody else?
Throwing good money after bad.
Enough is enough.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Always wear your good draws in case of emergency.
Hard head make a soft.
Ain't funny when the rabbit got the gun.
Anybody else?
All money ain't good money.
You don't miss your water till your well runs dry.
Ooh, it's so true.
Anybody else?
I call the kettle black.
Leonard?
I think I'm done.
You can't think of now? Rico?
Yeah, man. It's so many of them, man. It's so many of them.
A bird in the hand beats two in the bush.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my soul know that one. That's from Hallmark.
Exactly.
I'm gonna come up with one. I'm gonna come up with another.
Come on with another. Come on, Mr. Hicks. Let me hear you.
What you see is what you get.
I'd rather see a sermon walking than talking.
Come on. Y'all own it. Come on. Somebody else give me one.
When you live in a thinner than glass house, don't even throw pebbles.
Yes, sir. Come on, Rodney. Where you at?
Man,
Good deal.
It ain't tricking if you got it.
Oh, I read a good one just yesterday. It says, do not measure man where he is, or measure where he came from.
That's good. Anybody else? Okay. I'm gonna throw another topic. I got another topic. I just want to, have a little fun for a second, but I'm gonna ask y'all this question right here. And Rico, I'm gonna start off with you, man. And it seemed like a very simple question. But what is insurance for? Why do we get insurance?
Insurance for a bad day. That's to cover expenses or whatever you need for a bad day. That's the way I look at credit cards. I just like to use credit cards for emergencies. I don't want to get to where people use them as actually a way to survive, or as a way to just live. They live with credit cards, But me, I always, that was another thing. Like I said, my abuser taught me this. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing he did teach me was about credit and stuff like that. And I use credit when it's necessary. I don't use it just for convenience like most people do. I respect that. So, I think insurance, I look at that as a form of insurance, something that you have for a bad day.
Okay. So it is necessary.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Willie, what do you say what is insurance?
Insurance is coverage for someone who doesn't know how to plan properly. They didn't save the money. They have an accident. Got to pay. Insurance covers. You lost your job. Now you got to have some money to survive till you get the next. You're going to have unemployment insurance that covers you along the way. Instead of having your savings or doing what you're supposed to do anyway, on the job.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about insurance. I just don't,
Is it necessary? Is it a must to have?
For most people, it is. You know, for most people it is because they don't properly plan, they don't properly use their resources properly or manage their resources properly. And so the insurance is another form of investment that they put their money in. And then at a time given in the future when they come some problem comes along and they have some kind of coverage or safety net.
Okay. Mr. Hicks, what is insurance and why is it necessary?
It's a death benefit. It leaves a lot of folks the possibility of leaving a inheritance. But mainly it's an investment vehicle. A whole life policy as an investment tool. I used to sell life insurance, Metal Power, way back in the day. That these Italian guys, rich guys, they would buy a policy paying even $400 per month.
Wow.
But as a whole life policy, then they will borrow against the increase in some kind of way. You could do it and write it off as a tax write-off. I really read of some people using a whole life policy as their own bank.
Wow.
I gotta study some more on that.
Now, I'm gonna go to everybody else, but I saw Willie. He was shaking his head no. What would you shake your head no for, Willie? What does that mean?
A tax write-off. No, sir. On the tax code, can't write that off. You hope that depending on what it is, it may be taxable or non-taxable. And if it's taxable, you will be taxed. I have clients who got covered by it. Some were taxable, some were not.
How do you know the difference?
You don't, unless you call the IRS and get a tax code, or whenever you're receiving the money, you already know the code prior to.
What is the amount? It used to be 10,000. Willie, what is the gift? What is the gift amount now that you can give to somebody without it hurting you? Or
a gift amount?
Yeah, it used to be. I know it used to be something like $10,000. You could give somebody $10,000 without it affecting you and taxable or something like that. How does that work?
No, a gift is non-taxable. That's just you giving it away.
But don't they say it's up to a certain amount of money though? Because if it goes over a certain amount of money, go ahead, brother.
They might say that when it comes to a home loan or something like that in particular. But if I give you $100,000, there is no tax liability that you will incur for me giving it to you.
Okay. Do you need an address?
By me.
Do you need an address?
Do I need an address to give it to you?
Yeah.
No, I just need to hand it to you. I just need a bank account. I just need your bank account.
Well, I sent it to you. I seen my bank account number as soon as we
all right. As long as you send me $30,000 back, I'm good.
I send that right to you, brother. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? Insurance. What is insurance for?
First of all, insurance is the best way to mitigate risk.
Yep.
That's the best way to mitigate risk. It doesn't matter what it is. If there's some insurance available on it, if you always even if you're selling something, you want to know, or even any agreement or contract you're in, you want to mitigate any risk of a person breaching contract, for instance. If I make a contract to do business with you and we don't get that far, how you gonna compensate? So one, you may get insurance on anything. You can get insurance on if, say, for instance, if you do something that requires your body parts, you can get insurance on body parts. You know, some people, they even send it to you in the mail. You can get insurance for dismemberment. If you lose a limb, for instance, that's the easiest insurance. They usually get that to you for free. If you're a member of a credit union or something like that, it's so inexpensive. You could get insurance on your credit cards. People don't realize things you purchase on credit cards. If you purchase a little amount of insurance for that, what you purchase on your credit card, it's covered by insurance, whatever you purchase, some of those things. People use insurance as banks, as savings accounts. You know, you hear these people talking about you should buy whole life insurance and borrow against it and everything. That's great, especially if you got that money it takes to put into it. You know, that type of thing. So insurance to me is just a way to mitigate any type of risk.
That's good. Rodney, talk to me, man. What is insurance?
Like Mr. Hicks, I used to sell insurance. And Leonard gave the textbook answer in terms of what it is in terms of mitigating risk. But one thing that we have to look at is that insurance policies can be monetized to develop personal net worth. A lot of us do not understand that. The fact that you have that instrument, which is that insurance policy, it can be monetized to start your business, start retirements. A lot of other groups, such as your Italian Jews or whatever, they have built their family wealth on insurance policies. All right. A lot of times the Black community, our health is diminished greatly because we don't understand how to use the medical insurance to further our lives. So typically we're at a disadvantage because we don't understand how to use the tool of the insurance instrument. Again, a lot of family wealth has been made on insurance policies. We kind of look at it as, yes, it gives you that comfort level to know that if you drive your vehicle or if something happens, you're covered. That's great. But we have to look above the carnal level and go to the level of what's the next step. How do we use that policy? Because just think about it. I used to sell what do they call? Some of you guys might remember it. I did debit collections on people who were not insurable. I used to go to their house. Okay, I had my little black book. I used to get that little $150 for 3-4 years. People paying into it, and I had to stop because when a person died after 15 years, we wrote them a check for $3,000. Okay, and what ended up happening, the holder of that policy, that company, which I'm not going to name, monetized that policy for their own personal wealth. So they got rich off of a policy that the brother thought he was, I can't get a policy. I'm not insurable. So I'll get this policy, thinking he's doing something. And indirectly, he's being used. He's paying a monthly premium. So this corporation could monetize it on the NASDAQ or wherever and make billions of dollars. So we have to understand how we monetize that among ourselves, either through insurance policies, credit unions. There's a whole gamut out there that we're not utilizing, and insurance is the main one. We're paying into it.
Raheem froze up at the last minute, man. That's crazy, man. And, you know, me and him, we talked about something similar to that a while back, man. That's something big that you said about that. I don't want to call it a scam, but it's almost like a pyramid scheme to a certain extent. It's, you know, they taking people's money and investing it and making more money off of it, and then by the time you have to utilize it, it ain't no good. But man, it is a necessary thing to have. Because at those times when people have emergencies such as deaths in the family, hospital emergencies, man, that insurance is definitely a expense that needs to be covered. So, you know, that's what that insurance is about. Is like they said, you know, covering those expenses that may come about that you just can't pay out of pocket.
Wow. So insurance is very important. Anybody have anything they want to say about insurance before we get out of here for tonight? I think we lost Mr. Hicks there for a second. I think my whole system shut down for a second. I heard Rico say Raheem I froze at the last minute. I could hear it, but yeah.
You got to get insurance on your program.
Like get some of that insurance like J-Lo got for her legs.
Exactly. I get Mr. Hicks got me covered. Mr. Hicks got me covered. But listen,
I got you covered.
Absolutely. Even though you didn't do too good on the game we played tonight, Mr. Hicks, you didn't do real good, sir.
That game was sick.
You know, one of the things I was told about the insurance between a whole life policy and a term policy. A term policy you take. If a term policy was going to cost you $100 a month for a $500,000 policy, and you're paying $400 for a $500 whole life policy, take that first year, you get no benefit out of that $400 you didn't pay a month. Take that, get the term policy, take the other $300 and stock it into your stock fund or mutual fund and build your own wealth. So when you're borrowing money, you're borrowing against yourself. It's your money. You have ready access to it. You don't have to call somebody and say, can I get some? You know, I'm going to pay back at this rate.
Yeah.
You know, it's yours.
So there's no penalty.
No penalty.
One thing that helps is, a lot of us, for instance, African Americans, are very distrustful of things. And most of us are so distrustful is because a lot of us don't understand the game.
Yeah.
My brother, for instance, he's pretty much a cash guy. And it's simply because he does not trust anyone. And even if he asks me about investments, I have to always let him know there's always a risk in investments. Some investments are a lot riskier than others. But if we study and learn the information, it reduces that need to always suspect somebody are trying to rip you off instead of you understanding exactly what it is that you're doing.
Exactly.
Insurance, people preach that game. Well, we need to do this and we need to do that. The only difference is term, low entry fee. Anybody can almost get it, and it's a death benefit. The other issue that we deal with on the whole life side is an investment. Most people that can afford to make that investment, they have lots of cash to put up front. They have 40, 50,000 to put up front.
Yeah.
And that's they're protecting that money, and that money will make money for them. You can't even get in the whole life with a couple dollars. That's why people don't usually purchase whole life, because you have to start off with a substantial amount. And that's why they have so many different other products. Now they even have one cheaper than term. You can just buy burial insurance if that's what you want to invest in.
Yeah. Wow. We need to get back on. We need to touch back on this again. I wish we would have got to it a little earlier, the insurance thing, but I definitely wanted to play that game. I thought that was fun as well. But we're going to get out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We're going to go around right now, give everybody an opportunity to say what they want to say briefly in their closing. We're going to start with you, Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what you want to say in your closing, sir?
Oh, closing. You called me first, too.
Yes,
I
sir.
lost twice tonight. But it's been fun. It's great. Good stimulating conversation, and that stummed me down that memory lane. It was a good trip for me, seeing how far the Lord has brought me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Willie, in your closing, sir.
Well, just thank you guys for having me on tonight. Sorry running a little bit late, but had grandkids to go see about and enjoy. So I'll be late probably, when they have practice. I'm always there. So, but thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me back in, and you guys have a good week.
Yes, sir. And likewise. Yes,
sir.
Leonard, in your closing, sir.
Man, what I would like to do is, with a great show, I want to just let men know, stop complaining. If we want to if you want some leverage in these upcoming elections, we got to show up to the polls. The only way you have leverage when it comes to government is showing up. In Georgia, to vote for a black man, we only showed up at about 19 to 20%. Man, we got to do better than that. You can wave a sign in front of a building all day long. You can be the most incarcerated for 50 more years. If you do not show up at them polls, at least 40%. Ain't nobody gonna care what you're talking about. So that's what we need to do. Go to them primaries, be ready for the general election, and let's see the number of black male turnout exceed anything we've ever done.
That's good.
That's what's going to make us valuable when it comes to government.
Absolutely. Rico.
Yeah, man, I agree with him, man. We need to reestablish this man code. I know, what was it, about 2 or 3 years ago? They had Young Thug and all them other rappers on TV for Father's Day, freeing those guys out and been paying their bail. That was just a one-time thing, and they made a music video out of it and got all that praise. Now them same cats on the news getting RICO charges. Man, they don't understand the man code. They just was being opportunistic and finding an opportunity to make some music. Real men need to stand back up, and we need to be consistent. Leonard brought up something huge. And it's sad that he had to even mention that, because we let Obama down with that same turnout. When it came time for midterm, actually, he barely got in. If it wouldn't have been for the white vote, he would have been left out on the outside looking in. We left him hanging during the midterms, and we still got these situations evolving into worse situations, and we ain't doing nothing but complaining and talking about what we know what's wrong, but our actions ain't speaking louder than our words.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rodney.
Yeah, to piggyback on what the brother is saying is very important. One of the other important things is after you vote, holding folks accountable.
Yes, sir.
We run to the polls and we vote them in office and we go back and sit down and have coffee. So the problem is that we do not hold their feet to the fire. And again, I'm not going to get caught up in that black and white issue, but here's the thing: you vote for people who are going to prove your best interest, black or white. So many times that we giving away our votes, we give away our capital, we give away our cash, we give away everything, and don't ask for anything in return. So now, if we put you in office, we need to show up there every Friday afternoon.
That's right.
And sit there and ask them questions. Why did you do this? Why do you vote that? There's a thing that I've been watching on this.
Right, you know it's time for us to get out of here,
I
man.
know it's time. Yeah, I'll preach later on.
You about to shift gears, bro. You got comfortable. You don't growl back, got comfortable in your seat. Boy, you was about to go in. Man,
my wife's gonna bring me some wings in here in a minute.
Well, you
we got to put that game on Paul, man. See, we supposed to hit this
some real stuff. But anyway, look, we're gonna say goodnight anyway.
Look at here, man. This man done sit back and got comfortable in his chair, and I said, "Oh Lord, hold on, right? We got to go right." Okay.
Hey,
okay.
Man, I got all night, man.
Man, exactly. Now, we got a thing Monday through Friday. We got a show called The Morning Glow. But on Wednesdays, especially tomorrow, now I'm gonna tell y'all something. If y'all ever join a Way Out Wednesday, make sure you join tomorrow. We talking about something tomorrow. We got a topic tomorrow that's gonna, man, look here. I can't wait to see how this thing gonna go. And I know that, but it might get a little rough, might get a little rocky along the way. But when we get toward the end, and we start talking about the solutions of what we talked about beforehand, it like I said, the road might start off a little rocky, but it's gonna smooth out. And I know by the time we get by the people that we got, by the panel that we have on the Morning Glow, by the time we get to the end of that broadcast, by the time if y'all stick with us to the end, y'all gonna hear some solutions to a problem that's been going on for a long time. We're talking tomorrow about systematic racism. Systematic racism is what we're talking about tomorrow. So y'all join us. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and it has a special name. Rico, what's it called, Rico?
Way Out Wednesday.
Way Out Wednesday. That's what it is. So make sure y'all join us tomorrow for Way Out Wednesday. Let me see who I'm gonna get the prayers out today before we get out of here. Let me go. Rodney.
Yes, sir.
Prayers out, sir. You about to give your sermon, so let's pray at the end. Your sermon is over. Go ahead and pray.
I'm gonna
Prayers
pass
out,
the plate when I'm done. Okay. Let us bow our heads. Father God, we want to thank you for this opportunity for real men being men, the conversation, the dialogue, the insight that you've given us, the wisdom that you imparted upon us, Lord God. Let us take this information that we've gained, share it with other brothers. Help us, Lord God, to be productive people in your community. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. And bless this show.
Amen. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody. Anybody got anything they want to say before we get out of here?
If anybody is welcome tomorrow, is oh my goodness, I gotta Raheem, I'm going to send you the flyer for the Board of Pardon and Parole. There's going to be a demonstration there tomorrow.
Now, where's it going to be at, Leonard?
It's going to be down. Hold on, let me get the information. It's going to be. It's actually all day from 9:30 to 5. The board meeting is at 10 a.m.
Okay,
and that's down at 200 Piedmont Avenue, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia 30334.
Anybody could come.
Anybody is welcome to come. There are some folks that are pretty much have organized and started inviting people to be there. The activity is all day. The actual board meeting is going to be at 10 a.m. and that's to demand accountability and things like that, to talk about rehabilitation and things like that, because the Georgia Board of Pardon and Paroles pretty much is operating independent of anybody's opinion. And we need to make sure that they understand they need to go back to public meetings, and the citizens of Georgia need to have input on how they conduct business.
Absolutely. So send that information to me. I'll share it. Go ahead, Mr. X.
I want to Leonard sounds like someone who probably answer this question. What is the process? Well, since my incarceration in 1972, I've never voted. I went to Vietnam, came back, and did what's called hideous crime that locked me away. Is there a process now, even though all these years I've never had any other kind of even traffic ticket? Is it possible for me to get my voter?
Yes, one of the best things that's one of the best things about living in Georgia is once you have paid your debt to society, you can get your right to vote reinstated in Georgia.
In Georgia.
Yes.
So I have to check out what the status is now. I'm in Alabama. I wish I was in Georgia now.
Right. And see, you can maybe I don't know if Rico knows or not, and if that is true in Alabama as well.
Yeah, he can get reinstated. That's how I got reinstated. He can get reinstated.
Okay. Good deal.
Oh, okay. Great. I agree with Rico.
Good deal. Well, it's 10:06. Y'all time for us to get out of here, but make sure if y'all get an opportunity, make sure y'all join us in the morning, man. It's gonna be a great conversation. I'm looking forward to it myself. So make sure if y'all have an opportunity between the hours of 7 and 10, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10, make sure you come and join us right here. Same place, same bat place, different bat time. But y'all make sure y'all come and join us right here. DKM Media Group and Associate. It is now 10:05. You're about to exit the morning glow. Real men being men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light for real men being men. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great evening. Take care of each other, and please be blessed. Love you. Have a great night.
Good night.